are recording. Welcome to Five City, I'll say YouTube channel this time. I was contemplating on what to say. Another shorter form topic specific video. Where we'll run through F1 to start. The Canadian GP was this weekend, but before we get into all that.
Yeah, before, I just wanted to, we were talking about how great this beer is.
Oh, yeah.
Actually not, but I'll do a demonstration, so watch.
I'm so ready.
So watch what this looks like. It's
No way.
It's barely beer.
That looks like a seltzer.
It might be seltzer, but it tastes nothing like seltzer. So it's...
I saw it in a glass on Sunday, and I'm still...
You know what it looks like? It looks like sparkling grape wine you'd have on New Year's if you weren't drinking alcohol.
Exactly like that.
100%.
So this episode...
It didn't even foam up at all.
I was gonna say foamed up.
Or that might have just been a good pour.
I'm good at pouring beer. Yeah. This episode brought to you by Bud Light.
Bud Light Next.
If anybody wants to give us money,
please.
That'd be great.
That'd be sweet. Canadian GP Grand Prix. However you want to say it. Definitely exciting. I have the top 10 written down. If how we finished. If we wanted to start out with that, Max won. I don't know if you guys watched, you definitely know. Max won. Sainz came in second. Lewis was third. George Russell was fourth. Charles Leclerc was fifth. Esteban Ocon was sixth. Valtteri Bottas seventh. Guan Yu Zhou eighth. Fernando Alonso ninth, and Lance Stroll 10th.
Perez crapped out.
Perez, yeah, he had we can start there if you want, because that's like kind of a big so Perez had an engine failure in lap 8. Under 10 laps, he had an engine failure. It could present some sort of reliability questions for Red Bull, because I definitely thought when that happened, okay, what's going on with Max's car now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's definitely sometimes I've seen where one car on a team has an issue, and then the engineer comes on and they say, oh, you're going to have this, or we're expecting the same issue, or something's overheating, same kind of things going on. I don't know, but the kind of story was Leclerc had to take an engine penalty because he totally ripped through his engine. So that was kind of a reliability issue with Ferrari there.
Well, and that's the difference. It's 1 week it's Ferrari, 1 week it's Red Bull. So who's going to have less engine failures, it looks like?
And the thing is, it's the
Could it be Mercedes?
Probably not.
Lewis loves that car.
I was gonna say,
Lewis loves that car.
He was definitely...
I think he said in a video, he said something about it being so good.
Bad.
So bad. So bad. It was so bad.
I definitely want to get to that because, I don't know.
I'm just not a Lewis fan because he wins all the time. Doesn't win all the time anymore.
Yeah.
He definitely used to win.
It's like cheering for Tom Brady.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Once Lewis is done racing, I'll be able to say he's the greatest of all time. He won a lot and made a lot of money, and he's a cool guy. But right now, I'd rather see just about anybody else do good.
Right. Changing the guards a little bit. But one thing I did want to say about the reliability is, it is the new kind of, era of Formula 1. So, the cars changed. A good point that I heard made was cars changed, but the engines didn't. This was coming from someone who is more versed in the mechanical side of Formula 1, but they said, the main components of, engines and main parts of the car really didn't change.
So are you saying from year, so we're novices at this, but the engines from year to year, do they not have different engine requirements from year to year?
See, that's something I couldn't really... Yeah. That's why, it was just...
I don't know. I know the cars change themselves, but I don't know about the engines.
So I do know I think it's 4 years, they have a new era in Formula 1, so the cars will change, the regulations sometimes will change and things like that, different, but they will have to build a different car. So last year's car looked very different than this year's car, but last year's car looked the same as 2 years ago. You know what I mean? So that was a different era. The cars look different now as opposed to last year. So turn 1 was kind of crazy. The front row was Alonso and Max Verstappen. So that was gonna set us up for something good, to be honest. Just because I feel like they're both, obviously Max is the aggressive type.
I was gonna say right out the gates.
Yeah. And Alonso kind of has that same mentality, and he was saying, before the race, I'm gonna be right up there with Max, elbows out.
I was gonna say he's hungry.
Yeah, exactly. So I was kind of hoping for a little more with that.
He wasn't. He wasn't up there. I mean, Max went right. I mean, it was
right
took off and gone. And there was no even question in turn 1.
I was gonna say Max was clearly 4 wheels in front of him, to be honest. And maybe it was a thing where Alonso just didn't get a good enough start. Maybe he just didn't get a good enough jump off the line, and if he did, they would have went right at it. But I think Red Bull also has incredible straight line speed. So I don't know. The cars don't really add up either. But yeah, kind of missed out on that. I was hoping to see something kind of
a little bit more electric.
One thing that I did want to point out too is the broadcast. I don't know if you guys caught it, but right before the race started, they almost missed the beginning of the race. they were like showing the back of the grid, like the back 2 cars of the grid, and then like right as the lights went out, they cut like right to the front of the grid to like see the start. I was like, you guys almost missed.
Because everyone was delaying getting to the line like they always do.
I was gonna say, if you want to talk about that a little bit, that's so funny.
Up the front row.
Yeah, so like when everybody lines up after the formation lap, the people in the back of the grid will take their sweet ass time coming because everyone's getting temperature in the tires, everything like that. And Max is sitting there up front waiting and just waiting, and his tires are cooling down, his engine's cooling down. Like, so many things are happening like that. So I feel like that just goes to show how interesting Formula One is, in my opinion, anyway. There's so many things like that.
It's intricate. There's a lot of little things.
Right, exactly.
Well, I mean, even the bouncing this year being such a big thing, and last year not really being talked about at all. It's like
we never heard of it last year.
What is it? Porpoising?
Porpoising,
yeah.
Porpoising. And that's the thing is, all 3 of us are relatively new to Formula One. Like, we're not like billing this as like
I am very.
We're just
I get the feeling though it had to be an issue. It has to be an issue over the years though, because they know what it is. It just wasn't talked about last year because it's got to be an issue. The cars are traveling so close to the ground.
Yeah, they didn't come out saying like, "What is happening to these cars? They're shaking all over the place."
I know. They had a
we need a new word for this.
We're
Let's
gonna
make
call
up
it
a new word. Is it porpoising?
No. There's probably 80 other things that go wrong with cars that we don't know about. You know what I mean? They have crazy.
There's
words
definitely different words for different things that even this year they mentioned a couple things that I never heard of and never heard the word before either. So
I want to like try to learn as much as I can, but there is so much, especially like there's so much that like about the car that like
keeps you coming back though.
Exactly. That's a very good point.
Well, and that's the thing. We just started watching last year, really. But like we were saying the other day, it's like I want to go back and watch like 2013, like when Vettel was winning 8 races in a row, and when Hamilton was dominate. I'm a Hamilton fan, but I never saw him dominate.
Yeah,
it's like I saw him last year be good, and this year not good. But whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah,
I can definitely see like that's why I'm not a Tom Brady fan, but
I don't think we've ever gone back and watched any old race.
To be honest, we haven't.
I don't even know if you can. Where can you watch them?
It's got to be like
that Sky Sports.
It might be on. It might be on their YouTube channel. I don't even know.
Maybe. I bet you we could find them though. There's got to be a way because I want to get a better like you guys were saying. I want a better perspective on like what we know that Lewis won 7 times. We know Vettel won 4 times. We didn't see it. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really feel like that. We're watching Vettel finish 14th.
I mean, maybe ESPN Plus. How far do they go back in the history? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's on demand there, but I'm sure they don't go back 10 years.
Right.
It'd be cool if we could go back at least 10, 15 years and just see the progression in cars, drivers, everything.
I was gonna say because they'll show like just clips of like old F1, and it's like the cars sound different, look totally different. Like I want to.
Sometimes the older cars look like really cool to me. Like they look so like rounded, no angles whatsoever. If that makes sense. I don't know, a little more go karty if that makes sense.
Like,
I kind of like it.
Like
what Leclerc crashed.
Yes,
that looks very go karty.
Yeah.
Oh
100%.
Yeah, so like,
it's not as long as these cars are super long.
That's the reason why I want to go and see one in person is I want to know really how big these cars are. You know what I mean? Like obviously like we can look up the dimensions in 2 seconds, but I want to see like damn dude, like I guarantee they're huge.
It's probably nuts though because they're probably like lower than your thigh level. Like it's probably so like at knee level.
It must be insane. It must be insane. Yeah, and that's why I want to do the paddock club because then you can do the pit lane walk, you can do everything. But that's like a bucket list.
Where did we recently see the F1 van?
Oh, you guys said you saw it
on the 190. Like
I thought we were walking in a parking lot and we were like, F1. Did we see 2 different things? We saw a white Sprinter van.
That was a Haas.
Oh, the Haas van.
Yes. This is crazy. We're in Buffalo, New York. Not the F1 capital of the world by any means. We saw a Haas Sprinter van, a Haas Formula One, because Haas is like a big company. It was a Haas Formula One team Sprinter van.
Yeah.
And then we saw the fucking
like an F1 semi.
Yeah.
I don't even know what's on that. Like merch.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know. It was an F1 semi. It was absolutely unreal, and it was like it reminded me. The color was almost the Aston Martin green, and it had like a red F1 logo on top of it. Yeah, good shit.
What could have been around here that they would have been going to?
That's what I was trying to think of. Maybe the only thing I could think of is like, I don't know who. I mean, I don't know. Actually, never mind. I'm not even gonna go on that tangent of what I thought in this brand of what it could have been. I was about to say we got a DuPont factory over there. Maybe Pirelli's got a. I don't know. Get out of here, kid.
DuPont is actually a sponsor. They have a little logo thing on Alpine's car. Look for it next time you watch. But, yeah,
I mean, it would have made sense if like the Watkins Glen race was going on. maybe they would have
traveling
something
or something.
Well, no, they might have had like merchandise for sale there, even, or something promoting F1.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe not. It's completely different.
I would love to know what they were doing in Buffalo, though, because I want to go find what they're doing. Because I think the Haas headquarters, we looked it up. It's in North Carolina.
Yeah,
it's
no,
anywhere
it wasn't close.
So I don't know. Not
Maybe
sure.
it was just a Haas fan.
Yeah.
Maybe, and they really were fooling people.
It's like that. It's like that minivan you'll see at Hyde Park every once in a while, and the dude has like pictures that he's like printed off, like pretty much. I don't even know. Like I'll find a picture of it eventually, but like I don't know how to describe it. It's a blue Dodge Grand Caravan minivan, but he's got like golf pictures all over his car.
Yes.
Really?
I was like, nobody likes golf more than this guy.
Yes.
Like
He's got
it was
like,
ridiculous.
It's filled with
Like pictures of greens, like tee boxes, like
What?
It's unreal. It's unreal.
like pictures he's taken though. It looked like.
yeah, no,
I
it
was
was
like,
like something he made, like his little own project. You know, it was
on the 08 Grand Caravan.
So it's not like wrapped. It's just like pictures.
It was almost wrapped, but it was like it looked like he took those pictures.
Yeah.
like it was like
There was definitely like maybe like a coating
Yeah.
over it or something to like keep the pictures there, obviously. But like I don't know. It was weird.
Was this Haas thing looked wrapped? Like it
oh the
wasn't
Haas thing
Oh,
was
the
like
Haas thing was
professional.
wrapped.
Profe-
Yeah,
like
it-
super
we-
professionally
yeah.
done.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, might have been a big fan.
Speaking of Haas, they qualified 4th and 5th.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that this weekend. I don't know if it had to do with the rain or what, or maybe they both had good laps.
The rain looked crazy because we were golfing during the race, and I remember you just showed me the phone. You were like, "Look at this," and I was like, "They're not looking at anything." I was like, "They're just hoping."
That's something that's
Well,
insane to me.
yeah.
Is the spray that comes.
The
off
spray's
tires.
just got to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, for P3, I saw the end of qualifying, but then for P3, there were guys that weren't even going out. I mean, Russell was literally sitting in the garage like this. Like he wasn't going anywhere.
Not
I think he
worth it.
went out for one lap at the end. That was it.
Yeah, so he can
Yeah.
bin the car and have his engineer stay up all night. Schumacher ended up with a DNF, and K-Bag finished 17th. So they didn't end up scoring any points or anything like that, but it's definitely just like something you would want to see. You know what I mean? You want to see.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, they're doing better all year, really.
Yeah.
I was
So-
excited to see K Mag come back. So
But yeah, I
seeing him
think
do
that
well is even better.
yeah, and I think the qualifying had a lot to do with the weather. Like
Oh,
the
yeah,
better
for sure.
wet drivers, qualified better.
I don't know. Like it always seems weird to me, like when it's pouring and like everyone, even the announcers are like, yes, because like doesn't it make it 20 times more dangerous for the drivers? Like I don't know. Like don't like it's not like it's always seems like I always am excited as well, but it always that's in the back of my mind too. It's like they probably hate the rain more than anything. You know what I mean?
They don't really talk like that though. Like
Or maybe it's surprising that they
I
don't,
always think that
you know?
too, and I always think I always think I'd hear some drivers like when they flash on the radio, they're like, "Oh shit, it's raining."
Yeah.
It's never like that though.
Yeah.
Max is always like, "Let's go. What are we waiting for? Let's go."
Yeah.
Like that one
Yeah.
time it was pouring rain. He's like, "What are we waiting for? Let's go."
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe it just comes down to if you're an F1 driver, you're just insane. You have to.
Or
be-
if you're Max Verstappen and you're number
and
one.
you're number one.
I mean, what was that? 2 races ago that they delayed the race because it was raining so hard.
Oh, that was so. Yeah, that's when he was saying
Yeah,
it, right?
that's
Yeah,
what he
yeah,
was like.
yeah.
What are we waiting for? Why aren't we going? Why aren't we going? I was like, "Why are you kidding me?"
That's just Max, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no, it is.
I would
Complaining.
I would honestly be like George Russell. I think.
I think I
personally.
would too.
I don't think I'd want to
100%.
go out.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like
I don't like driving my truck when it's really rainy.
Yeah.
And that's like God's honest truth.
Yeah,
I'll be
exactly.
like, dang, do
Yeah.
I need to drive right now?
Dude, the rain, like you said, driving in rain. I would much rather drive in snow than rain. Almost. I don't know. Rain is just like
Uh,
Yeah,
I don't
much
know.
less going 150 miles an hour in rain
with no windshield.
yeah.
Yeah, they got a mask
with no roof.
Or, no roof exactly. Moving on to Mercedes. Speaking of George Russell a little.
Top 5 George.
Top 5 every fucking week. Can't believe it, to be honest. What I really is interesting to me is that he's finishing top 5 every week and Lewis is not. And Lewis is not close sometimes. You know what I mean? Something I did hear that can offer a little counter argument is that Lewis has been using some like experimental setups, trying some other things to try to make the car faster with less porpoising, things like that. So that could have a lot to do with it. And then, but they had a good weekend this weekend.
Well, that's why in practice too. That's why he said that car is so bad
yeah.
because there was a complete different setup. I guess.
Oh, was that why?
Yeah.
Okay. That
Yeah.
makes a lot more sense, and I did
Yeah.
want to talk about that too.
Because there's no way he's like, okay, this car's so bad, and then he finishes third and has a really good rate. I mean, he looked really good.
Yeah.
The best all year.
Oh, 100%.
So far.
100%. I mean, Leclerc wasn't up there either, which helped, but 100%.
Right. Exactly.
The
yeah.
car-
I mean, if Leclerc didn't start in the back, yeah, probably finishes 4th or 5th.
Yeah, but still. And I didn't want to talk about that, like, because I didn't know he was specifically referencing, like, that. It makes more sense now in my head that he was referencing a setup on a car, saying this car is so bad. Because you brought it up. I remember we were talking about it where we were driving somewhere, but we were just saying, like, it's just not, like, it's a weird thing to say, man, about, like.
I remember exactly that conversation because I was like, do you realize, like, JV soccer, that means nothing. This one kid was like, man, we're so bad. Didn't play the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Didn't touch the field the rest of the year.
Just, yeah. But it makes more sense that he was talking about, like, saying, like, this car as in saying, like, this setup.
I'm still like, yeah, if that's your setup, that's your team.
I was
like,
going to say, you got
They're all
150
kind of like that
engineers
too,
working
though.
on this.
They're all
Yeah.
every time something is not right in the car, they don't hold back. They're just
Yeah.
like, this sucks. I have no brakes. I have no like,
that
you know
is
what I mean?
true.
It's like they don't pull any
Right.
punches and say. I think the same thing. Like, wow, these guys are pretty rude when they're describing like what's going on, but still they're driving really fast and
maybe it's a thing where they would way rather like just like what's happening, like let us know what's happening exactly. Don't sugarcoat it.
like Red Bull say, hey, what's going on, Max? No talking around the turns.
Yeah. They were like they were like trying to say something. He's like no talking on there.
Dude, that's
on the
too
turns.
funny.
No talking on the
That's
turns.
too funny. But when Max says that, you say, okay, yes, sir,
Okay,
sorry.
yes, sir, yeah,
Sorry.
I think they said like I think they said like we will stand down or something, or like they said stood down. They said stood down. That's what they said. But
That's too funny.
it definitely makes me see it a little different now that saying Lewis was talking about a specific setup.
Yeah, whatever. Maybe he wasn't, but that's the way I that's what I heard, and that's what the way I think it was interpreted. So
Yeah, a couple other things, a couple other little tidbits of things I picked up. Alfa Romeo finished 7th and 8th, which was pretty friggin' sweet, man, for Alfa Romeo. So they were originally 8th and 9th, and then Alonso, which is another thing I wanted to say, he ended up getting a penalty for weaving on the track. So he got like a 10-second penalty, which dropped him down to 9th. So then the two Alphas jumped up to 7 and 8. Back-to-back points for this Guan Yu Zhou. It's his first year in F1, so he's really
that's the
hitting his
best
stride.
race he had. Yeah.
Yeah, and they've had a lot of reliability problems, Alpha. So he's really getting a chance to like show what like he can do. You know what I mean? Which is pretty cool. But yeah, Alonso got that penalty, which dropped him down to 9. Qualified second, so not the best race for Alonso either. And then one other thing I wanted to say, Aston Martin is looking a little better recently. So just in Canada, Stroll finished 10th, which is pretty good. I mean, it's 10th, but they were nowhere close. They were 18th, 19th, 15th and under.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A lot of improvement.
Yeah, 100%. And then Vettel, I think, was 5th in Baku. So they're definitely maybe on their way up a little bit. They've been called out for like copying some of Red Bull's designs a little bit, things like that. But yeah, keep a watch out for them as well.
Yeah. Yep.
I think Vettel might be my favorite, like, sleeper driver. Like, somebody that, like, if somebody were to ask me, like, day-to-day, I'd be like, yeah, Carlos Sainz probably. But, like, if I'm really thinking about it, I go, Vettel.
He's cool. He's
Cool,
so
nice guy.
Yeah, and F1 legend.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like Vettel too. I got my Vettel hat.
You have a.
There's some. I was actually looking on.
Oh, yeah, that is a sweet hat.
fuelforfans.com or whatever.
Yeah.
There's some pretty cool. If you're an Aston Martin fan, there's some pretty cool stuff on sale in the
Oh, shit.
sale category.
You ever seen the polos that they have with, like, the zipper? And I've always wanted to get one of those for golf. I feel like that would be, like, one of the drippiest things you could wear
Those are
golfing
cool.
ever.
They actually have. I actually saw this green. You know, it's a green Aston Martin color, like winter vest.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool as
Yeah, I
fuck.
think
I
I
was
might
going to
get
say
that.
That's cool as
The
fuck.
Aston Martin green is like one of your favorite colors.
It
dude.
is
I
my
was
favorite
gonna
color.
say, yeah.
That's
like
why, like,
that.
when I saw the release of the car, or actually, if you remember, I didn't see the release on my own. You were like, "Yo," and then you just texted me
Yeah.
the picture, and we're like, "You'll see it when it comes through." And I remember like just looking at the picture you sent of like the just like side view of the car for like 20 minutes. I was like, "Dude, this thing looks fucking awesome."
I was gonna say it was our second podcast episode, but that's what we talked about.
when we reviewed the cars,
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what we talked about. So
I think that was the one I put in the highest tier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
my favorite.
there's some real cool stuff on Aston Martin sale.
Yeah.
It's really
That
Like
F1
Vettel.
merch though, it takes a minute to come in from that.
not from there though.
Or-
So fuel for fans.
Yes,
is
yes.
quicker. But yeah, if you order something from the F1 store, like we ordered, like we got. Did he tell you about
That's
that?
what yeah. Because like he would come
like
home
10
sometimes
months
and he's
later.
got like some cool F1 thing on. He's like, he's like, this was supposed to come in a while ago, came in today, new shirt, new jacket. I was like, dude, dope, like super cool.
I'm not kidding. I ordered it in October for Christmas. and it came in, what, 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
It's June. Like, that's nuts.
Yeah,
You were like, hey, that's like a little
Dude, yeah.
like
I
happy
kept
little
getting
surprise.
notifications
Can't
on
be-
my phone, like F1 delivering tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, what did I order? I didn't even remember order anything. And I'm like, what did you order?
Yeah, you were like, what did you order? I'm like, dude, I didn't order anything. The package came too in a DHL carrier van. We never see those around here. It's like an international shipping company, and it said it said Netherlands on the side of it.
In the back of my head, I was thinking that I was supposed to get something else that I ordered, but thank God we got it. That was an expensive deal.
That's crazy to think. Like, they could have stiffed you, and you would have never remembered. Like, it's so long ago.
I think it was like $160 jacket.
Yeah.
You know?
Jesus, yeah.
Like, that's...
Well, one thing I will say about fuel for fans is it's a little bit cheaper, and it comes quicker, right?
Yeah. I mean, it seems like they have... I don't know if it's just the U.S. Maybe they have it in stock somewhere that they ship to the U.S. faster or something like that. But even the regular F1 stuff that we ordered took a while to come in.
Yeah.
Like, I got a few... I must have ordered 4 or 5 things, and then I got like maybe 3 before Christmas, and then I got a couple after, and then this jacket, whatever. It was like 10 months later or whatever.
That's got me just thinking, like, I think I'm going to have to pull the trigger and get, like, a super dope polo with the zipper for golf this year. Like, those are sweet.
Yeah.
Wear it on the golf course, man.
I know.
It's a good investment. It's a good investment.
Yeah.
We know we never golf, so.
Never. Like once a month.
Tanny's texting me right now about playing bobolinks later.
Really? One thing we definitely should talk about, though, as far as the Canadian Grand Prix goes, is, like, Ferrari and the last, like, 15 laps. I think I mentioned it earlier. Charles Leclerc had an engine penalty. He basically like ripped through, like, the engine, according to Ferrari, was not like serviceable, was not repairable. So they had to get a new engine. Had to take a third place penalty. Ended up starting like 19th or 20th, something like that. So he was really not in the mix. And then Carlos Sainz was really in the mix at the end. He was basically right behind Max for, I don't know, 15 laps or so.
Yeah.
I don't think Max ever made a mistake. I think that's what it was. He couldn't get around him because Max never missed an apex.
Seemed like he was getting close a couple
zone.
times and then never. Yeah, I just don't, like, I was telling you the other day, I just don't think anybody's going to beat Max. As long as Max's car is in shape, I just don't think anybody's beating him.
He is the best driver in the world, I think.
Yeah, I don't think...
There's just no doubt that I'm 100% sure he's going to win if his car is okay.
And I can't, like, it makes me so happy. It makes me so happy. I just remember watching those last laps where Sainz, you know, they had the safety car and they all got bunched up and Sainz was right behind him. And I'm like, you know, if he locks up one time, he misses one apex, breaks early one time, Sainz gets by him, you know what I mean? He's right on his ass. And he didn't put the tire off 1 centimeter.
For 12 laps, he was literally 0.5 to 0.8 seconds behind him for 12 laps.
With DRS and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
just goes to show the skill level in Max, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing to hold it off for the last 3 laps, but for over a dozen, or even a dozen, like...
Insane.
Well, and that's the difference. It's a difference between chasing someone or holding someone off, right? I mean, if he's chasing someone, you know, you gotta think that if you're chasing, you'd much rather be chasing someone than trying to hold someone off.
Always.
You know what I mean?
If it's any, like, not to, like, compare it to track and field, but, like, when I ran track, I remember they would always be like, they told you, they were like, you don't want to be in the front, you want to be in the back and chase, and then in the last little bit, 800 meters, I remember I run it, I'm in first place the entire time, get past the last 70 meters by some kid, and I was like, it's because I had nobody to chase.
Yeah.
So, I think, I 100% believe in that to the day I die.
Yeah, it makes a lot of
even
sense.
this, when you're chasing someone, you see them. Max is driving and looking at his mirrors to see where Sainz was. And
then you can get the slipstreams. You'll have DRS. Max doesn't have DRS. So there's definitely a lot of advantages. Do you think if Leclerc is right behind Verstappen, does he get by? I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think if Sainz isn't doing it because Verstappen's just not making mistakes, I don't think it matters who's behind Verstappen at that point. He's just not going to mess up.
And at that point, it becomes the car, I think. And it's like, is the car, you know, is Leclerc's car better? Is he he's probably a better driver than Sainz, but I don't know. Is he getting closer to Max? I don't know.
I don't know. I think Max definitely has to put a foot wrong for someone to get by him. You know what I mean? So I agree. I don't think Leclerc gets by him either. And unless, like you said, somehow Leclerc's car is faster in some sort of aspect, whether it's around slow corners or things like that. I don't know. But
And that's as like truthful as I can be because I love Ferrari, but I also
Yeah.
like Max. So like,
Yeah.
all bias aside, I'd probably say like I don't see him passing him.
Yeah,
Max would have to make like a true mistake.
exactly.
But in Ferrari, I mean, it was incredible for Leclerc to start in the back and finish fifth.
Yeah, and work his way all the way up.
Insane.
It is crazy.
It's insane. I mean, yeah. Whether his car is better or not, he drove past all those cars on a street circuit, a narrow circuit. You know what I mean? It's not an easy task. You know what I mean? Whether your car is way better or not, he still had to get around them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
I felt
definitely
bad for who was in front of him at the start, Latifi and
Yuki.
Yuki.
Yeah.
I said to him before the race started, like turn one, he's already by them, like, and he was.
Shut off.
Oh. Okay.